uh, Humanities and Social Sciences webinar. My name is Dan Ray. I'm a senior academic advisor for the School of Professional Advancement. I advise our undergraduate programs in social sciences and humanities. And I'll let Dr. Amr Basic briefly introduce herself and her co-workers as well.
Hi, and thanks for joining us today for the Humanities and Social Sciences webinar. My name is Dalila Amr-Basic. I am the program director for Humanities and Social Sciences programs. I also am a professor of practice, so I teach classes in both the undergraduate and graduate programs as well. And not sure, so I know that Professor Lucarilla is not able to join us today, and Professor Vester might still be joining us a little bit later. But it's great to have the opportunity to talk to you more about the programs. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in chat, and we'll try to address them as we go through the presentation. So I think Dan will start us off by giving a kind of an introduction to SOPA more broadly, and then I will talk about the different programs that we offer and the specific requirements. And then we'll wrap it up with some admissions information and then open it up to any questions that you may have that you wanted to ask us. So welcome again, and I look forward to getting to know you as you apply to our programs.
Cool. All right. Yeah. So just a little background about Tulane and our school in general. So Tulane was founded in 1834 as the Medical College of Louisiana. But Tulane offered its first continuing education classes in 1886 and has demonstrated a commitment to adult learners for over 130 years. So we were one of the first schools at Tulane to provide education to people in the community way back then and to this day still. Next slide. So the question, why SOPA? Well, we have a lot of reasons for that. We have the depth in online. We're really geared towards online studies. A lot of our graduate programs are entirely online. The undergraduate programs, not so much, but you can get a good chunk of it done that way. We have cater to working adults who go to school at night, and so our classes are at night once a week usually, or on a weekly online basis. The programs are designed for adult learners, so they can what they learn in the classroom, they can apply directly to their jobs, in many cases. Our faculty are experts in their fields. They are all working in the fields that they teach in, and they've won several awards with the university for their outstanding teaching. And our student support is another reason to come to the school. We have a student support and success department with the academic advisors, among others, and writing center and other tools to help students succeed and get you through school from the very beginning, from when you start until the end. The academic advisors, we're here to assist you any way possible. The affordability and the flexibility is another reason. Our tuition is lower than a lot of other schools. We don't charge extra fees like many schools do. Our tuition is what it says it is, and there may be like a technology fee or a couple like those, but they're not these highly astronomical fees. So obviously, four-year colleges are always going to be more expensive than community colleges, but our tuition is competitive, and if not lower than several other schools in the area. And the flexibility of it as well, because you can go online, if, your work schedule doesn't permit you to take classes in the evening, or you can, take classes in the evening. They're all at night, so they cater to the 9 to 5 type person. We even have students who don't work full time, for example, and they come into our program, after high school, or some folks may be a year or two removed from college. And there are some daytime classes available as well to satisfy some like general education requirements that you can take at the SOPA tuition rate. So there's a lot of different options there. And then lastly, the name Tulane speaks for itself. It markets itself, a lot of prestige there. So, when an employer sees you have a Tulane University degree, that carries a lot of weight, among other things. Next slide. Some basic info for online learning at our school. We are well equipped for online learning. When the pandemic started, we were one of the schools that everyone was looking up to for online learning, because we have a lot of students, not just in Louisiana, out of state too, for many of our graduate programs. And so we were always well prepared. We use Canvas is like the online platform. Blackboard may sound familiar to some of y'all from, if you've been in school previously, but in that platform, you can, access learning materials, lecture notes, and assignments at any time. You can download the app on your phone so that you have the most up-to-date info. If, the teacher has to cancel class or anything like that, you can just get the notification on your phone, and any other basic information that you need to pull up. The online classes are very engaging and have informative videos and interactive simulations. They have online discussion boards to allow you to collaborate with classmates. Kind of like if you were in class, that's kind of like the participation side of things, where you're having discussions and whatnot. And it's always kind of cool too, if that's all like written down on these boards, that you can refer back to a particular point that somebody made about something you guys were talking about in a class. And it's always nice to be able to refer back to that. And then you can also connect with a diverse group of students and improve online communication and technical skills. So we have a very diverse group of students of all backgrounds, all ages, going back to school for various reasons. Some have just started school and they're in their 30s or 40s and never been to college before. Some have stopped and come back, or they need to get the degree for their job to advance and things like that. So you'll meet a lot of interesting people, and of all backgrounds. And the other last point is there are monthly online meetings with classmates, faculty, and guest speakers. So some classes, they may say, hey, we're going to meet Friday at 6 to do some studying or answer any of your questions that you have. If you don't understand this or something like that in one of the classes, then the faculty will make themselves available that way. And the classmates can meet up separately too, if they want to have like a little study session, or if they have a group project or something like that going on. Then the online classrooms that we have, the online setup is geared perfectly towards all of that. And then from time to time, and depending on the classes as well, we'll bring in guest speakers from the industry in various fields to speak with the students, the little Q&A session, career stuff, job stuff, and all those things. And then for people who can't make these online meetings, when the teacher has one, then they record them so that you can view it later as well. If like, oh, I have to work from 6 to 8 on this day, I can't do that. That's why I wanted to do an online class. Well, you'll still do the online class. You can then just, watch the lecture after the fact whenever you're free and have a chance to do so. All right, next slides. The online learning continues here. Just some statistics on the scale. We had 1,394 students complete almost 13,000 hours of online coursework in the last year. There's a lot of depth in our program. I mean, we have a lot of online options available. We have 8 master's degrees, 19 graduate certificates, 4 4 post-baccalaureate certificates, and 320 courses all developed to be taught online. So we have these top-notch instructional designers that work with the directors and faculty to make this course online and then make it as, you know, as if you were almost in the classroom, essentially. And the quality, again, we have over 200 faculty trained in effective online instruction, and they won multiple awards. Next slide. So programs of study, this is for undergraduate. We have humanities and social sciences. Dalila, was this something you wanted to speak on?
Yeah, I can take over from this point. Thanks, Dan.
Yeah, and I'll get back to the end there whenever you need me, so.
All right, thank you. Okay, so you're here today because you're interested in either the undergraduate or graduate degrees in humanities and social sciences. And both undergraduate and graduate programs that we offer are very interdisciplinary. So in these programs, you would be exploring interdisciplinary perspectives and also studying social relationships, practices, and structures. And through this process, you're developing and strengthening a set of skills that are going to be useful even after graduation, including your critical thinking, communication, and writing skills. So one of the greatest aspects of our programs is our faculty. We have a broad range of faculty with different areas of expertise who are super accomplished in their scholarly pursuits, but they're also all exemplary faculty in the classroom as well. For example, this is just a selection of the faculty members that we have. Professor Kaczynski teaches in the MLA program, and he is a faculty member in the English department at Tulane, and is consistently receiving awards and nominations for a Best Teacher Award at Tulane and at SOPA. Professor Melinda Nelson-Hurst is an Egyptologist, and she teaches a range of courses on about Egypt, including courses on ancient rituals, magic, gender, and is generally a very popular professor, and also has received, again, numerous awards in the program. We were recently joined by 2 faculty members, Professor Lucarilla and Professor Ivester. So they're full-time faculty in the Humanities and Social Sciences programs. And both have a great range of expertise, and will be teaching at the undergraduate and graduate levels in the programs. Professor Lucarilla is teaching courses in writing. That's my dog. She always barks during these webinars. So Professor Lucarilla will be teaching courses on writing, and she is also teaching our capstone courses at the undergraduate level, and is currently developing a class on intercultural communication in the digital age. And Professor Ivester is a sociologist who teaches at both the undergraduate and graduate levels, and teaches courses in urban sociology, currently is teaching a class in health inequalities, and it is teaching courses, also teaching the capstone courses at the graduate and undergraduate levels. And then finally, we have Professor Bo Boudreau, who teaches our introductory writing courses, and he also teaches a course on poetry writing, and he is also in his professional life, he's also a poet, so he actually practices what he's teaching in the classroom. And then next slide. So first I'll talk a little bit about the Master of Liberal Arts program. I know a few of you here are interested in pursuing this degree. So the MLA allows students to explore a range of reflections on the human experience. And you're doing this through multiple academic perspectives. One of the really nice things about this program is that allows you to create an individualized plan of study. So you can really create something that meets your intellectual interests, as well as your professional goals. As part of the academic experience, you would be taking 10 courses, and then your final course would be either a capstone or a thesis. So you get to make a decision when you get to the end of the program on how you wanted to sort of finish off your degree experience. The courses that are offered are usually really interesting and engaging and come from a range of subject areas, including history, literature, philosophy, political science, and sociology. And another benefit of this program is that in addition to taking courses in the MLA program at SOPA, you also have access to all of the graduate level courses at in the School of Liberal Arts at Tulane. So if you have specific interests in a field that may not be offered through SOPA, you can then take a graduate level class in a different department. So the minimum requirement is that you would complete 2 courses in the MLA program and the capstone. And then the rest of your courses can come from either the MLA program or another graduate level program at Tulane. And then our undergraduate programs, again, similarly, are very interdisciplinary. They're bringing together different subject areas as you bring together courses from these different fields to create your program of study. So for those of you interested in the bachelor's in humanities, you would be engaging in subject areas, including English, English literature, religious studies, philosophy, linguistics, music, and visual and performing arts. And for those of you interested in the social sciences, your courses would be coming from areas such as anthropology, geography, Latin American studies, sociology, political science, and other related fields. And as part of these degrees, you are taking 30 credits in your major as part of your total 120 credits that you would be needing to graduate. And these credits would also culminate with a capstone experience. And ideally, you will be starting with introductory level courses in different areas in the humanities or social sciences. So you will be required to take courses in at least 3 different areas within these fields. And then once you have that foundation of knowledge, then you can decide which areas are more appealing to you and which ones you wanted to explore more and build on that foundational knowledge with additional upper level coursework. So you can move to the next slide. And as I mentioned, through these all of these programs, you're really developing additional skills which are preparing you to pursue careers in a wide range of fields. So we have alumni that are currently working, who have graduated from humanities and social sciences programs, who are currently working in truly a broad range of professional settings. So for example, we have folks working in business, education, arts, consulting, public relations, public policy, nonprofit management, and writing. So really there's a wide variety of professional opportunities that you would have because you're graduating with such a rich skill set that you've developed through these programs. And I could talk about prior credit for prior learning a little bit as well, because I also serve as the school's prior learning coordinator. So if you have any questions about this and this in particular, you can also email me as well. But basically, SOPA offers students an opportunity to earn course credit based on your prior experiences. So if there are courses in which you already have previous experiences that are directly aligned. So for example, if you worked in the IT field previously and you may be an expert in particular areas of IT, and there's a course that the IT program offers that aligns with your experience, you may be able to earn credit for that course. So we offer credit for prior learning for both graduate and undergraduate students. It is a little bit more difficult for for the Master of Liberal Arts students to earn credit this way because most of our credit for prior learning is awarded for courses in the more applied areas. So information technology, health and wellness, um, digital design, and homeland security. But there are some courses that may be able to work for your program of study. So credit for prior learning can be awarded for previous experiences, and these can include work experiences, as well as community service and military training. For undergraduate students, this means that you can receive up to 24 credits, and this can be earned through portfolio assessment, standardized examinations like CLEP and DSST, as well as from military training. And for graduate students, you can earn up to 6 credits, and this can only come through portfolio assessment. So again, if you have any questions about this, send me an email. My email is just my name, dalila@tulane.edu. And now I will hand it over to Dan to talk more about our student support services as well as the admission process.
Cool, thanks, Dalila. Yeah, just briefly touched on student support and success earlier. Us academic advisors, whether you're in the undergraduate or graduate program, will be here for you every step of the way, from the moment you start to the completion of your degree, hopefully. We do, transfer credit evaluations. So if you have prior colleges, we can work with you on getting that process started. And any issues, that arise, or if you don't know who to ask, we're like your go-to person for virtually everything. Aside from the financial aid aspect, you'll get a financial aid advisor for financial aid related matters. We, what was I going to say? I lost my train of thought. But we're here for you every step of the way at, I was going to actually mention the teacher, the expert faculty thing was what I wanted to lead into. Sorry, excuse me for that. But the expert faculty with industry experience that that have been brought up, Dr. Boudreau and all the others, they're great. They know you guys have full-time jobs and work and have a family and have to take your kid to baseball or soccer practice or whatever, and all these other little things. So, we get contacted a lot of times and, recommend the students work out with their instructors, if there's any issues, if you have to miss a class or anything like that. And for the most part, if you let your teacher know in advance and you communicate with them, then they will be able to work with you so that you can, make up this assignment or turn it in a day late because you had to go out of town for work or something like that. So in addition to, them having a great faculty with a lot of experience, they are also very accommodating to our students. And that's a great thing to have, given that our students are all non-traditional students, so they're not living on campus and have nothing to do but school all day, every day. But yeah, career advice is another thing we have as part of our student support and success department. We have a career advisor, Cynthia Washington. If you're coming in as an undergraduate, we recommend you take her class. It's a career and success strategies class. Received a lot of praise from students who have taken it. heard a lot of good feedback on her class, and in general too. You know, she has an office out at the Elmwood campus. We're all going to be going back to the office soon. And if you need to make an appointment with her to, touch up your resume, work on a cover letter, or just need some basic career advice type stuff, then she's your go-to person for that. So, we have the career advisor, you'll have a financial aid advisor for all financial related things. And then you'll have us academic advisors, which is basically, which I was trying to say earlier, is like basically just everything else that comes up in between. Like I need help dropping a class, I need help signing up for a class, help me with my transfer credits, I'm trying to get a hold of my teacher but they're not getting back to me, or any kind of things like that. We're your go-to person, and we'll either be able to assist you directly or refer you to the person that can, or the office that you would need to speak to get your questions answered and your concerns and things like that taken care of. The other thing is that our networks of program peers and other Tulane alumni, it's a great thing. When you come into Tulane, you're going to meet a lot of people, and the networking opportunities are really good. The faculty work in those fields. They have a lot of good career advice as well. The other students, it's just a great way to it's all about networking a lot, finding a job these days, it seems, or has been for a while now. So this allows for great networking opportunities within your classrooms, and, going through the program in undergrad or graduate together, you're going to see and talk to some of the same people and develop, new friendships. And I've had faculty offer students jobs before because they were hiring and the students were in the process of graduating, and encourage them to apply for a position there. So it's a really good network opportunity at Tulane. The Tulane degree itself carries a lot of weight, like I said already. The application process is, before I keep ranting on and on, but the application process is really simple. The application is online at our website, sopa.tulane.edu. Click on the apply button at the top. Fill out the application. You have to do a writing sample essay if you are applying to the graduate program. There's no GRE required for the graduate program. Generally 3.0 GPA is required, and then Dr. Amr Basic makes the final decisions on admission into the graduate program. Undergraduate program, we have open admission. We have admission every semester as well, so whether you want to come in for the fall, the summer, or the spring. So it doesn't have to be, only in the fall, just whenever you're ready to do so. We have, open admission at the undergraduate level. Anyone could be admitted with a high school diploma or equivalent. If you attended prior college, as long as you were in good standing at that prior college, then you can be admitted. If not, then you may have to go through a small appeal process. But in addition to submitting the application online, you're going to have to upload like a government ID, such as your driver's license, and then you're going to have to request official transcripts from each of your prior institutions that you attended. So if you attended a couple of community colleges and then a four-year school or anything like that, then we're going to need an official transcript from each of those prior institutions. And a lot of schools now are doing electronic transcripts, which is very convenient because the snail mail process is almost eliminated now. You can go to the college website, Google, transcript from such and such school. They'll put you in you put in the information and tell them where to send a transcript, and it gets sent electronically within a day or two, usually tops. And so then we get it really quickly, and then we can process your application a lot quicker that way too. We're not waiting on a lingering transcript. If you have like archived transcripts, then they may take a day or two for the school to, locate them and eventually forward them to us. But other than that, it's a real quick and easy process. And the other thing is the application fee, 40 for under, 50 for graduate. But by attending this webinar today, that'll be waived for you when you apply for admission. So there'll, automatically be taken care of when that happens. So you don't need to worry about that. Next slide. So the application deadlines are basically 2 weeks or so prior to the semester starting. There's fall, August 1st, spring, January 1st, and summer is May 1st. It's, you have to apply by then before the application gets taken down. If your transcript is still coming in, or you still need to do that writing sample for graduate or anything like that, that's fine. We just don't want this all happening at the last minute so that you start classes in a rush and you know, can fall behind. So that just allows for enough time for everything to be processed. And then there is also, in addition to those deadlines, there are early enrollment scholarship deadlines. So if you come in for, well, the fall's too late now, but if you're coming in for the spring, and fall, you can still be admitted, but the early scholarship deadline won't apply, I should say. But if you come in for the spring and you apply for admission and then you enroll in your courses by December 1st, then you'll get a tuition discount on your classes. And then it just varies the amount, whether it's undergraduate or graduate. Next slide. Affordability, I mentioned that, you know, our tuition is competitive with other four-year schools in the area, if not lower in most cases. Our undergraduate tuition beginning in the fall per credit hour is $576. The classes are all 3 credit hours with the exception of English and a couple of other ones depending on your program of study. The graduate tuition is just over $1,100 per credit hour, and all of those classes are 3 credit hours, and the graduate degrees, this one I believe is 30 credits. So you can do the math on that there. Financial aid is an option for our students as well. You would do everything through the financial aid office, do your FAFSA online, and once you put in your information, then that will determine if you qualify for financial aid or not. So do the FAFSA, put in everything, and then they'll be in contact with you about that. There are different types of financial aid. There's federal grants and federal loans. For active duty or veterans, I believe, there's the Yellow Ribbon Program. And we also offer a 20% discount for any active duty military and veterans, active and retired public safety personnel, and minority serving institution scholarship. The school also has scholarships as well that you can apply for. Some you don't have to, they're automatic, and some they have to meet certain requirements to apply for them. Once you're a student, you have to have a certain GPA and a certain amount of credits completed with us and stuff that are available as well. And as Dalila mentioned, then a way to reduce the tuition costs a little bit is if you have work experience that can possibly transfer over to college credit, because if you are able to do that and get college credit for it, then instead of paying, you know, for a 3 credit hour course, you can do this portfolio, and then that will, you'll pay a small fee basically to have that credit then added versus paying the tuition for an entire class. Next slide. And yeah, that's it. Sorry for my stutter there in the initial part. I had one of these yesterday as well, and I was trying to go off of those things. But if there are any questions that you have, you can feel free to ask them now in the chat, or you can unmute your microphone and ask. Dr. Amr Basic or myself, you know, we'll be able to answer that for you. And her email and contact information is there as well. If you want to talk undergraduate, you can always call that number there as well and tell them you want to speak to Dan or Michaela. He actually does humanities and social sciences as well as far as undergraduate advising goes, and be happy to answer anything if anything comes up.
Thanks, Dan. So does anybody have any questions that we can answer at this point? I see one from Mark. The MLA is not fully online. So we have some courses that we usually have at least one class that's offered online every semester. And you can complete the capstone or a thesis. The capstone is online and the thesis can be completed remotely. But you would not be able to take a full semester of courses online in the MLA program. So if you're planning on taking maybe 1 or 2 classes a semester, it may be possible, but it's primarily designed to be on ground. I'm sorry to hear that. Are there any other
You have
questions?
some other graduate programs that are available online. I don't know if that's, in your interest, on our website, sopa.tulane.edu. The top, the degrees and programs, you can see some of those available master's programs and like IT and emergency and security studies. I think some of those.
MPA, I think Mark mentioned he was a teacher, I think.
Yes, the MLA probably is what he's looking at. Yeah,
No,
but just throwing that out there.
Yeah, the MPA program, it's kind of structured in sort of blocks of specialization. So one of those areas is in education. So it may be something that might work. But I agree. I think the MLA does align nicely with
It like flows right into it.
social studies. Yeah. And I think, I mean, as we develop more courses, I think our goal is to get there and have it be more broadly accessible. But at this point, the program is just, it's basically too small to make it fully online. I haven't seen any other questions. But if anything else comes up and you want to reach out to us, please feel free to do so. Again, my email is right here, dalila@tulane.edu. And you can send me an email and we can go from there. Thanks again for joining us today. Thank you for your time. And I look forward to hearing from you in the future.